Hi, welcome to my chat with Katy. Katy is the franchisor of On Broadway Dance Fitness. Hey, Katy.
Hi, Stacey. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to chat with you. Tell us all about yourself. Introduce yourself first, and then we'll get into the
Yeah.
conversation.
So, as you said, I'm Katy Robinson. I am the creator and founder of On Broadway Dance Fitness franchise. I live in Chesterfield. I've got three animals, two dogs and a cat. I have danced all of my life, from going with my teddy bear to baby ballet classes, right up to dancing professionally on cruise ships for years. So it's definitely always been my passion, and I'm very lucky enough to have it as my job now and my passion that I can share with other people.
What is it about dance for you? What is the thing that grabs that passion for you?
I think it's about how I feel, how it just when you're physically moving to music that you love doing, it's that freedom, it's the confidence it gives you. I don't know what made me fall in love with it at first, but I knew it was always something that I always wanted to do. I was that one person in my A level group that didn't fill in that UCAS form, despite being followed around with it. I always wanted to dance professionally. There was no other deviation from that. And I think it's just the way it makes me feel, but also when you're watching as an audience member or anybody else, the way that when you're watching a show, how that makes you feel as well. And I think it's just the episodes in my life when I've not been able to dance through illness or injury or just through trying a different path. I've never really felt like it was me, like it wasn't the authentic me. I just feel like myself when I'm dancing.
I love that.
I think there's a song, I can't remember who it's by. It might be by Pink, don't quote me, but it's called "I'm Never Gonna Not Dance Again."
Yeah,
Um, and that for me is like, again, when I've had episodes of not being able to dance, it's like that's my song. It's like I've got to get back to it.
love that. Pink as a performer, by the way. Wow. Have
I
you ever
know,
seen?
isn't she incredible?
Oh, she's amazing. I've had
Yeah,
the pleasure of seeing her live, and she just
yeah,
blew my mind. Like she's
yeah.
amazing.
It is. It's amazing. And when I see people like that, or when I go to West End shows or Broadway shows, everybody's usually up standing ovation and clapping. I'm sobbing my heart out because I'm like, I want to be on the stage. I want to be doing it with them. And I kind of know how much that it takes for that to go on the stage and what it means to those performers. So I get really emotional about it.
I love it. What is your favourite musical?
Oh gosh, people ask me that all the time. That is like asking me to choose my favourite pet. Um, But if you're going to put me under to make me decide, I mean, 42nd Street is amazing. I love that. From the tap has always been my favourite style of dance when I was training. So that and just the whole spectacle. But I love anything Bob Fosse, so Chicago, Cabaret, those kind of things as well. But you know what? Pretty much love most musicals because, yeah. But the dancier the better. There are some musicals that aren't as dancey, like the more modern ones these days, but like the big dancey numbers, anything with feathers, sequins, I'm there.
Love it. Favourite musical film?
Oh gosh. Um, Favorite musical film? I think it's going to be The Greatest Showman right now.
Classic.
Yeah, yeah. But the old ones as well, though. I mean, I love a Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers one. They are still classic.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, great show, man. Like, again,
Oh,
blew me
I,
away.
I know. I went to see it at the cinema with my parents, actually, and I forgot I was at the cinema, and I actually clapped. I think it was one of the end of one of the numbers. Oh, This Is Me, it was. And I was like, oh, I'm at the cinema. Because it made me feel like that. It was just amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I really do. And that's so important in business as well, isn't it? To be able to really feel passionately about what it is that you're doing
Yes.
and why. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about On Broadway Dance Fitness.
Yeah. So it is a dance fitness class for women. Um, it's fun. We don't take ourselves seriously. We don't have mirrors. It's a fun dance fitness class for women that empowers women to reveal their inner showgirl, dance like no one's watching. We dance to songs from the musicals, funnily enough, because that's what I love doing. We use things like top hats. I mean, I've got to have a top hat close by. Top hats, feather boas. And it's about them getting fit, but without realizing they're getting fit. But more importantly, boosting their confidence, making them feel amazing. It's the escapism of it. Many of the women that come to our classes are, mothers, daughters, carers, they've got stuff going on in their life. So it's that community of ladies that they can just switch off from that. And it's about the ripple effect that it causes. So they come in feeling a certain way, they leave feeling 100 times better, and that ripple effect as they go out. So yeah, our motto is dance like no one's watching. 2 left feet, great. And it's about providing a safe, non-judgmental space for women. I mean, there's a statistic, I think, by Sports England that says 75% of women don't exercise for fear of judgment of others. So for us to provide that safe space where they can not think about their feet and don't worry if they're going a different way with other women. And, you know, they tend to maybe hate going to the gym, and it's just that space, that safe space for them, really. And obviously jazz hands and musicals all the way.
Love it. I just love that. And well, how did you come up with the idea? Because I assume you haven't done this forever and ever and ever. Like, what was it?
No, although I do feel like I have done it forever and ever. To be honest, Stacey, it was really organic. It has stemmed from, I never have once sat down and gone, oh, there's a gap in the market. What can I do? As I said before, I've danced all of my life. I worked on the ships as a professional dancer, and that was all, you know, feathers, sequins, musical based. I was in amateur dramatics when I was younger. So I've always loved the musicals, and it was just a natural progression. So I used to teach lots of different fitness classes, aerobics classes. I was teaching 40 plus classes a week at one point, you know, step, aqua, legs, bums and tums. But I always taught this one class called musical jazz, which was my own choreography. I've taught dance, you know, to children and adults before. I think, so in answer to your question, it just organically grew from doing something that I love doing. Obviously, in the past, it wasn't called On Broadway Dance Fitness. It was rebranded. But yeah, and at the time, I didn't realise that there wasn't anything out there like that. But there wasn't at the time. There are more things like that now. But when I first started, it was very unique to be doing it the way that we do it, and to songs from the musicals. And unlike other kind of fitness classes where it's music on all the time and it's, you know, track after track after track, we learn a routine over a period of time. So it's that sense of accomplishment. So again, it's stemming from how I was trained, and I guess me putting shows on the cruise ships and stuff. It was part of that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I kind of, when you say, did I come up with the concept? I was like, no, it kind of just grew. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, people like this. People want this. Okay. How do we then market it?
Yeah. What was it like starting the business in the early days? So obviously you've talked there about like it's been very organic and can see how it's happened. But that like decision to become a business owner and run it like a business, like there's quite a significant turning point, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've kind of got 2 chapters of my life, I guess. So when I was teaching all the fitness dance classes in all the gyms, local church halls and all of those kind of things, it got to the point where I burnt out and I didn't enjoy anything, and I literally jacked it in all overnight and became, went and got a proper job, as my dad used to say. When are you going to go and get a proper job? And I did, but it was like a square peg in a round hole. So I kind of really wanted to do it. I always wanted to do it again, but I was fearful of how to do it without going back to that fear of burnout and saying yes to everything. And I wanted to find a different way of doing it. I wanted to make it simpler and easier. But at the time in that industry, it was like, no, you just do pay-as-you-go classes. You know, you have to do all of these kind of things. So I started to seek help. I got myself, I kind of looked around other people that had got businesses and lifestyles that I wanted and that weren't burning out with it. So I got myself a marketing coach, business coach, mindset coach, started implementing different things I was learning, especially from the marketing side. So whilst I was working full time in my proper job, I started reinventing what was called musical jazz back then into On Broadway Dance Fitness. And I was like, oh, okay, this is working. So what was your question? Sorry, I've just gone off on a tangent.
No, I love it. What was it like to make
what was it like?
Start the business?
So yeah, I could see what was working while still being true to my passion, my values, and that people wanted to come. And then I was like, okay, I'm earning enough now from doing that. It feels safe to let go of my full-time job. And then I went all in with On Broadway Dance Fitness and teaching the classes myself and doing all that. So it was it it was scary. I think I was fearful because of past experiences, not wanting to go back to that hamster wheel, which is why I was very keen on building a really simple business model that didn't see me doing lots of preparation for lots of different classes and running myself ragged. It, time was important, money, yes, was important, but the freedom and the flexibility for me to be able to really share my passion with as many women as possible, really.
And
So
tell us
less
about your
scary.
mission.
Hard work, not going to sugarcoat it. It was hard work. And I think at the time, I think when you do something you love doing, it doesn't seem like hard work. And I did work a lot and I worked hard, but I never felt stressed or resented it because I loved it and I could see the outcomes and what was happening, like the ladies that were coming and then they were bringing a friend and all of that. And it just so happened that I was being rewarded for that in terms of money, but also in terms of job satisfaction as well.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned in there, or I'll kind of circle back to like quite a lot of investment. So mindset, marketing, all of that stuff. And I know that that is really pricey stuff.
Yeah.
What did you struggle with, and what was your biggest lesson as a startup?
I struggled with the money, definitely the investment, not having it, not having that disposable income to invest, but also kind of going, but if I don't invest, I'm going to stay being stuck. I struggled, the people around me didn't get it. So I was struggling a lot with trying to explain to the people in my life at the time that this was what I wanted to do, but they were like, "Oh, it's a cult, it's a scam, it's a it didn't work before. Why is it going to work now?" Those kind of things. So definitely the investment and the investment of time and energy as well. Yeah. But I think when you invest that much money, you have skin in the game, don't you? You hustle to make that return back because you think, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to eat if I don't do it, or I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage if I don't do it. And I've got this credit card now that I've put all this money on that I need to pay off. So you hustle.
Yeah, it's I think you already have to have the passion and the drive, but it lights a fire.
And I think that's the thing, Stacey. I think I knew it was a bit like my A levels and that UCAS form. Like, though nobody was persuading me that I was filling in that UCAS form. Like they used to say, "Oh, just fill it in and defer it for a year." I didn't even fill it in. So, and I think it's the same feeling I had when I was kind of rebranding and restarting On Broadway Dance Fitness as it is today. I was like, this feels right. Like when you asked me about what dancing feels like, it just felt like this was what I was. I know it maybe sounds a little bit woo, but this is what I was born to do. And there was no other option. Yeah. Because I tried the corporate job and I was like, I feel like I'm living half a life. I feel like, is this all there is? Is that, I'd lost my spark. Because I remember when I did teach, when I was in my full-time job, I don't know why I keep doing that. Yeah, I remember because I used to teach one class a week, even when I was working in my corporate job. And when I came home from teaching that class, people would say to me, "Why can't you be like this all the time? This is who you used to be." So clearly the other job wasn't fulfilling me, and I thought that's not the way to live your life. If I can make it work, I will, and what's the worst that can happen? I can go back to doing a corporate job.
Yeah, I think there's something really significant about anyone who starts a business, whether it's a franchise or a startup, that you have to kind of come to this point of something has caused pain, or you are stuck where you are and you're resentful. And a really wise mentor once said to me, "Nothing changes if nothing changes."
Absolutely. It's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And I don't think I definitely wouldn't have done it without the mentors, the coaches that I had, because it's about having accountability, but it's about, you can be really lonely when you're starting a business and you don't know what you don't know, do you? Yeah. So, when you're struggling or when you're doubting yourself, having somebody cheering you on or going, "Well, have you thought about it from this way?" or or different things. And I think one of the biggest lessons I learned when I first started is not being afraid to fail.
Yes.
Because you can get stuck, can't you, in that perfection paralysis and stuff. And actually, you know, the best entrepreneurs have failed and failed fast and learned from their mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to delve into the franchise because you started the business and you did really well and you built it, and it's been great hearing about that investment and what it really felt like. But you clearly hit a point having franchise where actually you couldn't meet the demand or you decided there was something bigger. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think my mission has always been to empower as many women in the UK as possible to, you know, reveal their inner showgirl and do all that, to feel the feels of what we deliver and what On Broadway Dance Fitness brings. And I started trying to do that all by myself. So like I opened up in various different locations, local, but then went further afield. So I'm based up in Chesterfield, Sheffield area, but then I went to Manchester. Then we tried Bristol because one of our instructors had moved to Bristol, and then Barnsley, and then Richmond in London. And I was trying all these things like under my umbrella of just me getting instructors, marketing it, and it just got that whole, what I just alluded to about not going back to that, saying yes to everything, and the simple business model and that burnout. I was like, oh my God, I can't sustain this. So that's where it kind of, and again, organically, it kind of happened. So I was starting to think about how can I do this differently. We'd started looking at down the licensed model route and everything, like the other kind of brands that are out there in the dance fitness industry. And then actually it was one of my clients had gone to a health spa, and she'd gone to one of the classes at this health spa, which was a kind of a musical based dance fitness class. And then my client had said to this instructor, oh, you should speak to Katy. Anyway, she did. And that's kind of, again, it snowballed from there. So she became my first franchisee, and she was kind of my guinea pig. And we learned as we went. And I was like, okay, this now makes sense, because not only, it kind of lit another fire in me, because not only was she helping me deliver and empower more women and share our passion with more women across the UK, but she lit another fire in my belly that I was like, okay, now I have a passion for helping people like me have a thriving business, turning their passion into a business that they love. And so that kind of, alongside empowering as many women in the UK to dance like no one's watching, it's now other people can have the kind of life that I've got.
Yeah, it's that exponential impact, isn't it? For anyone who's like listening or watching and doesn't have a clue what a franchise is, can you just briefly explain what the concept is and how it works?
Yeah. So I would say to anybody who doesn't know what a franchise is, because to be honest, I didn't. I think my perception of a franchise was a really big corporate suits, McDonald's type. You needed loads of money, a big investment, that kind of thing. That was my perception of what a franchise was in the day. It's, for me, how I would explain it is it's investing in a proven, tried, tested, trusted model. It's like having a business for yourself, but not by yourself. You have got support in buckets, in oodles. You've got somebody that's done it before, that can give you the guidance to stop you falling down the holes that you might fall down, that basically go, do it this way because this way's worked. Try this because this works. Here is basically my business in a box, my handbook of do's and don'ts. The marketing works, the model works. You've got people around you that are living it, doing it, breathing it, that can support you, help you. So it's, it's the proven brand, systems, support. And like I say, it's a way of having a business for yourself, but not by yourself, because it can be really lonely. And doing startups, and, you know, loads of startups fail in the first few years, but, you know, when you invest in a franchise, you've got that whole support. So that's
It's massive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a really good explanation, because the business in the box is like all of those early stage things that you've been through, all of that investment that you've made in yourself all gets poured into this incredible package that someone then comes along and is able to literally like pick up and go with, which is, you know, such a shortcut, such a time saver. You said there about the failure rate. So the official statistic is 53% of independent businesses fail within the first 3 years,
Wow.
versus 99.5% of franchises who succeed in the first 3 years.
Oh, that's amazing. I think that's definitely gone up then from the last statistic I heard about franchising.
Yeah. So that's from the British Franchise Association's survey back in 2025. Yeah,
Great.
absolutely amazing.
And in terms of getting investment from banks and stuff, they're much more, we are an approved franchise partner of HSBC, but I know that, you know, banks and people that need to lend people money, if they're investing in a franchise, they're more likely to invest and give them the loans than any startup businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there is a proven model there. When you're
Yeah.
starting up by yourself, you have such a steep learning curve, and you still
Yeah.
do as a franchisee, but you have the backing of a business model that's absolutely worked. And
Yeah.
so the bank is like, yeah, great. So we know we're going to get the money back because this is going to work, and the profitability within franchise as well. So after 5 years, over 90% of franchises are profitable.
Yeah.
And actually, in lifestyle, which is the sector where you guys sit, what we actually see is profitability year one is very,
Yeah.
very common, because the entry price is much lower and the ability to go do what you need to do to make the money much easier.
Yeah, I would say that in ours, it's definitely 12 to 18 months and you're in profit for sure.
Yeah, amazing. So tell us why you franchised. So now we know what franchise is. Why did you franchise? So you've told us about the impact, and that you kind of discovered this way of helping somebody like to change their life and do what you said, and you got your guinea pig organically. Why did you then decide, right, we're going to go for it and push it out?
I think, again, going back to it was ticking the boxes of both of my missions then, both of my
Tell us about your mission actually as well, because I love your mission. I think it's really important.
So my mission is to empower at least 10,000 women across the UK to dance like no one's watching and reveal their inner showgirl. Feel amazing physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whilst inspiring others to turn their passion into businesses they love.
Wow.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So I think we've reached over 2,500 women now, in terms of the impact and the ripple effect that we've had through On Broadway Dance Fitness, which is amazing.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So going back to why did I franchise, it was really to help with that whole ripple effect. But also, I now love coaching the franchisees. I work really closely with the franchisees that I've got. It's a really bespoke model. Everybody has different goals, different ways of working, different reasons for being a franchisee. So we work really individually with them on how to achieve their goals, be it alongside another job, be it full-time, be it having a team, be it they want to earn X or they want to teach X amount of classes. And that, for me, seeing them thrive whilst creating such a community of amazing ladies that come to their classes, and that bigger ripple effect. So when I saw how it was working with my guinea pig, I'm not doing that again, stop it. That's why I normally have to hold a top hat, stop me doing jazz and things. And it was like, actually, the model's there, the model works. And it just felt like a no-brainer, really. It was like, why would I not help others to have a simpler life, doing something that they love doing, while sharing their passion and inspiring other women and helping other women feel amazing? We've already got the systems, we've already got the processes, and I think maybe it goes against what a lot of people think, because a lot of people go, oh, I'm not sharing that, they're going to copy it. But it was like, I can help those people have the life that they want, have the time freedom that they want. But also, whilst, like I've said to you on here, it's about lighting that fire or serving your purpose in life. And people that are living a life that maybe feel like, oh gosh, this is all there is, or, there's part of me that feels missing. then we only do get one life, don't we? And I think it's important that if we find something we love doing, to enable people to be able to do that as a business and be handsomely rewarded for it, and have an amazing life in the meantime.
Yeah.
That legacy, I guess, it's a legacy that I want to leave, but also I want my franchisees to leave that mark on the world. And that sounds really big.
But you deserve to have something that sounds big. It should.
Yeah, I think it does. I think maybe we try and hide it, but I think there's only about 5% of the population that can say they actually love doing what they're doing.
That's really bleak.
Isn't it? It's sad.
It's really sad.
It's sad. I know.
Yeah.
So if I can help more people, if I can improve that percentage, then that'd be great.
That'd be an incredible impact.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, so like where you sit in lifestyle, most franchisors that I speak to, and I speak to an awful lot of them, it's all about the impact.
Yeah.
It is about like, this is the best way to have a bigger impact across, you know, not like a market for business, but across actual human beings and actual people, and making them feel this amazing sense of purpose.
Yeah.
At a time in their life where like maybe they're a little bit lost or a little bit disheartened or a little bit fed up, really.
And I think as well, if you don't have that passion and you don't have that purpose, it's not easy, is it, running a business? It isn't. So when things get hard, to be able to remember why you're doing it in the first place and to tap back into that, I think really helps spur you on. I mean, there's days when I thought, oh God, stop it, it's too hard. But when I remember that bigger impact or what I'm trying to achieve, or, you know, we call it our why, don't we? Oh God, I'm there again with those. Then I think that's what spurs you on. Mm-hmm. You need that. If you just get into business for business sake to earn a bit of money, I don't know, but I'm guessing that's not as fulfilling and as successful.
Yeah, I think there's a certain type of person who is driven by reward, but the reward is not financial. The reward is impact, is time. So tell us who makes a really good franchisee for you. Like, do they have to have dance experience? What are they doing now?
Not necessarily dance experience, definitely a love of dance. Like by no means do we say they have to be dancing to a professional standard. They might have danced when they were little. They might just enjoy dancing around the kitchen to, you know, the radio or whatever. Radio, God, I'm so old. People don't listen to the radio anymore.
I listen to the radio.
Oh, okay, me too. Although it just happens to be on Alexa, but not actually an actual radio. But anyway, so no, they don't have to have official dance training. They don't need to be teacher qualified to start. I think for me, it's about having the right kind of person. We call it our bubble within the franchise, with my franchisees, and what it's about having the right values. It's about definitely loving musicals and all things jazz hands. Somebody that's willing to be shown the way, willing to kind of go, yes, I can see that works. Show me how. That wants to be part of something bigger. That shares that mission. But they, you know, I think you can train people how to do stuff. It's the values that you can't train. So for us, it's about finding the right fit, and yeah, does that answer your question?
It does. What are those key values?
Key values: trust, integrity, authenticity, for sure. Ambitious and driven, because you have to be, you know, with a passion to share with the women of their local area. Fun and empowerment, again, are key as well. So yeah, they're the main ones, and wanting to kind of strive for excellence, always finding a way to be a better version of themselves.
I like that. Yeah, it's that personal development quest, I think, is such a key part of being a business owner, because if you aren't looking to improve, not necessarily like you don't need to change who you are, but if you're not looking to improve and become a better version of yourself, it's really hard to then progress and grow your own business, because having been a franchisee myself, you have to wake up every day and be passionate about what you do with the lens of the thing that you're delivering, so like dance classes and fitness classes, but also you have to have a self-interest in there as well.
Yeah,
And that's really key.
absolutely. And I think anybody that thinks, oh, I've learned everything I can learn, and I'm the best version of myself. That for me, I mean, I've been in teaching, physically teaching for over 30 years. I still learn. Like, oh, try that. And in business, I could go, yeah, I'm successful. I've achieved that. So I'm not going to learn from anybody else. But that's the quickest way, I think, to failing, I guess. You've always got, there's always, the world's changing so fast. I think you've always got to be learning. And I think, any franchisees that we bring on board, it's about them being open to show me the way. It clearly works. Show me how. I want a piece of that. Absolutely, we are happy for them to bring themselves to it and put their own spin on stuff. But yeah, we've got a tried and trusted model that's working for all of us, and people being open to learning that. And I'm still learning, and I will change things in my business. I will try and test it in my part of the business, because I still kind of run my own territory of the brand kind of thing. And if it works, I'll roll it out to the franchisees, so that it's always evolving.
Yeah, I like that. And it needs to be, because we are people and people evolve, right? So yeah, absolutely. What are the franchisees that you've got currently, what were they doing before becoming a franchisee?
Yeah, one was a school teacher, but she'd actually already left because she had enough. She'd burnt out with that, so she was looking for something different. One was in a kind of social care, but again, it was just all very stressful. One was actually already in the dance fitness industry, teaching in a health spa, but teaching kind of like 50 hours a week. I was just like, oh my God. Another one, she was in a I'm going to use them again, proper job, something to do with IT or telecommunications or something. And I think another one was she still does this job alongside her On Broadway Dance Fitness brand, something to do with, she's quite high up in another corporate job, something to do with food.
Yeah, so it's really varied, isn't it? Because from my outside perception, I think I would look at it and kind of go, oh, I really love to dance, but I couldn't teach a class because I do this thing instead. So it's really good, I think, to be able to hear like what those other franchisees are doing and how they've come in and slotted in, because I know you're such a tight knit, like happy group of people.
Yeah, but they're also very different. Yeah. And I think I'm going to say only two of them. One of them danced when she was younger, but didn't take it to a very high standard. And one of them, like I said, was dancing and kind of in the fitness world. But the rest of them maybe just, like enjoyed dancing in a nightclub, or enjoyed dancing around to the radio, or like maybe had done a few Zumba classes or something like that. So not professionally trained, not, oh my God, I've danced all my life. So it's really, like I said before, it's as long as you've got a passion for dance.
Yeah. And the other thing that you said in there as well was that like many of them are doing this on the side of other jobs. Like, how does that fit for them, like, and lifestyle? Are there any kind of expectations or minimum classes that they need to teach? How does their week look?
Yeah, so I mean, I started mine alongside another job, and some start alongside another job and then decide they're all in, and some go, actually, I love my other job and I love doing this, so I want to do both. The business model, I always say, is a minimum of 3 classes per week, just because of how the business model works. So, it's an investment of at least of time of at least 3 classes a week.
Yeah.
But some are teaching, 6 classes a week. Some are teaching 20 classes a week, not themselves. They've got team, so on their timetable. So it can really work. You can go all in full time with it. You can decide to do it alongside another job and do it. And then you might go, actually, like I did, oh, it's working, I'm going to drop that and I'm going to go all in with that. Or you can do it alongside both. Some of my franchisees have children, grown-up children, smaller children, do it alongside, being a mother as well. So it's fairly flexible.
It's quite key in that sandwich generation, isn't it? Because I think a lot of women of like my age, certainly, and I'm in my 40s, we've got young kids to look after and there's parents to look after as well. And actually, what I find when I work is that it's time for me. I get time to think and be
Absolutely.
an adult.
And that's what we all say. Us teaching our classes is we get out of it what our clients get out of it. We get out of it with the ladies that come to our classes. We get that escapism. We get that fun. We get that time out away from life, that escapism. And maybe, you know, especially when you're running your business and maybe another job and you've got your children, like the mental load of all of that, which is, you know, the mental load of some of our ladies that come to our classes, it's the same, but suddenly you can cope with it better at the end of a session. So even as an instructor and the business owner and the franchisee, it's the same. And because the admin part of our business is so low because of the systems that we've got, so yes, you teach your classes, there's only one set of preparation, and then there's a little bit of admin and marketing to do. You know, as you get to know the systems, fair enough, when you first start, it's quite, you know, as learning anything, it takes a bit of time, doesn't it? But it is quite a simple, which is what I've always said, I wanted a simple business model, and it really is.
Yeah, I really like that. For anyone who's thinking, oh, I'd really like to do that, but I'm terrified of running a business, what's the onboarding look like? How do you help people to kind of come in from a non-business background and then go and make their money back, like you said, in like 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, I mean, they get me on tap 24/7 quite a lot, well, with boundaries in place, obviously. But for their first 3 months, we've got a operations manual. And when I say that, it's not like a big binder that you have to read. It's all done online. There's videos of me talking through stuff. There's screenshot videos of how to do this, how to do that. We set up a lot of the processes for them. So we'll set up their social media side of stuff. We work with people that will publish all of that for them. So we're starting to create noise in their area and the whole PR launch and everything like that. So even if even if they don't use social media and that's scary, we can show them how to use it, but we do the setup, the automations. They don't have to do all the automations. We do that. We just show them how to use the system. And then the first 3 months is obviously it's a lot about marketing. It's a lot about understanding the systems, but a lot of it is about, okay, let's learn the choreography. Let's teach you how to deliver it. Let's teach you how to do the sales, getting people in, but how to get them to stay and sign up. So depending on where they're located, they can come in person to our classes. They can join online to our classes. We have lots of regular Zoom calls with our new franchisees, as well as, taking them through the modules in the operations manual. So they get calls with the other franchisees. So the first 3 months they get me a lot. And then they get their regular monthly one-to-one calls, group calls with the other franchisees. We have days together, weekends together. We do that 6 times a year. So, yeah.
Amazing. And who is it not for? Because this isn't for everyone. And not everyone is right to run a franchise. Not everyone will want to kind of necessarily do this. But also, I think what's really important in a franchise ecosystem is that you bring in the right people. So the perception is that you go buy a franchise, but the reality is that you're awarded a franchise if you're the right person.
Yes, absolutely.
Who's the wrong person? Who's it not for?
It isn't for anybody that is not willing to invest in themselves, not willing to invest in being their future friend. That is maybe only mildly interested in making a change, but they're not that committed to making a change. It's not for people that are maybe already in the industry and teaching lots of different brands on their timetable and simply want to add another brand to their timetable. Like I said, the way we do it, it's a business of running On Broadway Dance Fitness. And it's not for those that are not willing to kind of invest in marketing. I always kind of say, are you willing to spend £1,000 on marketing a month, even if it means earning £10,000? So, I mean, you can replace that. Are you willing to spend £100 on marketing if it means earning £1,000 back? And so many people will probably go, oh, no, I'm not willing to do that. So it's about that mindset.
Yeah.
And it's not for those people that are not willing to commit. It's a 5-year commitment at least, and they've got to want it. It's not for somebody that's just wanting to play at it.
Yeah, get that. I do. And in terms of that kind of recruitment process. It's a horrible, cold way of putting it, but like, let's say someone's listening to this and they're really, really interested, and like, right, okay, what would be the steps that they take to become a franchise?
So I mean, we put quite a lengthy recruitment process in place because we don't ever want anybody to go and make that quick decision. It's a considered investment. It's a considered investment of money, time, energy, effort, but also it's about working out if we're the right fit for each other. It's not about them being a right fit for, or, you know, they've got to like me as well. So it's about that trusting process. So we start off with a 1 hour discovery call where it's about them discovering more about the brand, me, the franchise, and also me discovering more about them and what they're passionate about and what they want out of everything. Then I would suggest that they spend time speaking to my other franchisees, getting warts and all from them. If they've not experienced On Broadway Dance Fitness, then I would really want them to actually just participate in a class, whether that's an online live class, whether that's going to a physical class, looking at some of our videos, because they've got to be passionate about teaching it. They've got to go, oh my God, yes, this is something that I really want to do. I would really encourage them to come and meet me in person. I really like to see the whites of some people's eyes. Obviously, that depends where they're located. But I would love them to come, you know, and physically meet some of the ladies that come to our classes and go, are these the kind of people that we want to work with? Like, they've got to teach those kind of people. And then the next steps, we can put them under what's called an intent to proceed document. So there's no commitment. But what that allows us to do is to maybe look at a territory. Does that territory work? But also that stops me then speaking to anybody else about that territory. So they're kind of, whilst I'm making a decision, there's a deposit to pay there. But at the end of that, if I decide it's not the right fit or they decide it's not the right fit, they get their deposit back. We release the territory. There's no commitment. It just gives us a bit more time to do a bit more due diligence on each other and to see if we are the right fit and if that territory works. And then we would then look to, if it's a yes on both sides, we would then look to award the franchise territory.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Tell anyone listening who's, again, not familiar with franchise, what is the territory? How does it work?
Yeah, so territory is basically like postcode exclusivity. And that was one of the biggest reasons when you said to me earlier, why did you start a franchise? That was something I forgot to say, was because I'm so passionate about there not being competition in somebody's area. Like, there's so many, you know, there's things on every street corner, isn't there? And all in competition with each other, like hairdressers on the same high street and all of that.
Really, the brick lane with all the curry houses.
Yeah. It's like, I want my franchisees to go, right, I've got this area. I can really build this business without worrying that there's competition in that area. So it is basically like a postcode exclusivity. Nobody else can teach On Broadway Dance Fitness within that given territory. And we use some territory mapping software so we can really see where our ideal clients are in that area, what the potential market value is in that area, what the potential earnings could be. So a lot of new franchisees go, oh, well, you know, those people don't exist in my area, or what if the marketing doesn't work? But we can say, listen, these are where those people are according to the census data and our heat mapping and stuff. And because of the marketing that we've got that talks to the ideal client and the conversation in their head, it kind of, they work in tangent to each other. So,
and this is all stuff that you don't get again if you go it alone, is it? And,
yeah.
And I think kind of what I love about franchising is like exactly what you just said there. You're not in competition with anybody else. So you have this amazing collaborative network that you can go in and be like, I'm having a bad day, or this hasn't worked, or help, I'm stuck. And you just get this army of people who come and get it and they support you.
Yeah.
Because no one is going to be in your area. And so actually, I think when we think about buying a franchise very often, we do think about these McDonald's in these buildings and things like that, but it's far bigger than that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally different to that. And like you say, it's such a supportive network. We've got a WhatsApp group with our franchisees, and you can guarantee that maybe someone's put something on whilst we've been on this call and I've not got to it straight away. Guarantee it'll be dealt with. Like, they'll have all helped each other. Try this, try that. Well, that happened to me. It's such a, and because they're not in competition with each other, everyone just wants everyone to win. It's, you know, as a group of women, I mean, I've been with groups of women my entire life, and some have not been quite so supportive. And it's just such a nice environment where we've all got each other's backs. You know, we'll whoop each other up when things are going well. We'll catch each other when they're not going quite so well. So yeah, it's great.
It's really nice. And I always find this question a bit tricky in franchise because how long is a piece of string? And you said there that you've got some franchisees who have 20 classes a week
Yeah.
and some who have 3.
Yeah.
Like, what's the earning potential for a franchisee? Because I think when like someone listens to this and they're like, oh, that sounds really good. I think what we do as human beings is we immediately put the barriers down and go, well, I
Absolutely.
probably can't afford it. I probably won't earn enough. So
Yeah.
what can you do to kind of answer some of those questions?
Yeah. Biggest one is it won't work for me.
Mm.
But I mean, it is a tricky one to answer in terms of what are the potential earnings, because it's like, well, how long's a piece of string? Because again, it goes back to what that individual franchisee wants, what their goals and ambitions are, what their time is, like how much time do they have, how many classes are they able to teach, therefore how much do they want to earn, or are they trying to leave a full-time job so they need to replace that income. But just, as a ballpark figures, I've actually written these down before we came on. Some of my franchisees in like year one are maybe turning over like £3,000 to £5,000, teaching maybe 4 or 5 classes a week. But then some are turning over £18,000 a month. So, and that's, with a team of people and extra classes. So it is quite a hard question to answer. I know there's some that are definitely turning over like £7,000+ a month. Some are 17,000. Each month's vary. Some people decide to take school holidays off, so therefore maybe their earnings are down that month. But you can very quickly. When I was in my full-time job and I building my On Broadway Dance Fitness up on the side of that, I was teaching 6 classes a week and earning £3,500 a month from those 6 classes a week.
Wow.
Whilst working in a full-time job.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? And I do think, like, again, with having been a franchisee myself, it's very much dependent on what you want to go and earn. And I'm guessing that you help them with this in the onboarding part of the training, isn't it? In terms of like, okay, I always sit down with my franchisees and like, right, okay, what do you want to earn? How do you want to earn it? How many classes? Where
Absolutely.
do you want to
It's about reverse engineering it. It's about going, not what will people pay or how much should I charge. It is about how much do you want to earn? Okay, you want to earn X, but you only want to teach 5 classes a week. Great. So let's look at the packages we can design that's going to get you there. Bearing in mind, you can probably have X amount of clients in those classes.
Yeah, love that. And demand is high right now, right? Because like we went through the awful lockdown period and everything shut down, and now everyone is.
We didn't. We thrived through that, by the way.
Did you? Tell us about what happened in lockdown.
So, again, as a business owner, being responsible for franchisees, you kind of see it coming. It's about me kind of going, okay, let's not bury my head in the sand about this. This is going to happen. We'd already got a few quite vulnerable clients that had started to isolate, but they had already paid for the block of classes that we were doing. So I was like, okay, well, maybe you could join us online. Maybe I could record it and send you the recording. Starting to kind of look at that. So then when lockdown hit, we'd already started moving into Zoom classes, even though the technology was rubbish and everything was a bit like,
Rainy.
I mean, but if you'd have said to me before lockdown, would you ever take your classes online? I'd have gone, don't be stupid, Stacey. Nobody will ever dance online. That's ridiculous. But then during lockdown, became for our clients, it was a lifesaver. It was the routine. It was the community. It was a way of still keeping some kind of normality. So, we sorted out the Zoom stuff. We got the technology. The same with my franchisees. They moved online. There wasn't a period of stopping before restarting. We just carried on. And the clients were really, forgiving about the technology. And I mean, yeah, I had to teach in my kitchen for a few weeks because our Wi-Fi went down at the studio and stuff. But yeah, and that opened up the possibility to then get people for dancing with us across the UK, not just in our territories, not just in our postcode areas. It suddenly meant actually we can open that up to people that aren't in our local areas. And those ladies are still dancing with me online today.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it?
Mm.
Incredible. I think the flexibility to be able to do that and offer that is amazing.
Yeah.
I think being able to do that as a group of people as well, like as a franchise collective, is so much kind of we had this in my business where the franchisees were able to come together and offer an online offering. And it meant that, had we been independent businesses, we'd have probably had to shut down because we wouldn't have had that group resource or that group motivation or someone having an idea, like, let's do this. But it meant actually that we were much stronger together. And that's what I really get about yours.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, there was no option not to carry on. I was like, no, I can't not carry on, and my franchisees can't. That isn't an option. So let's find a way. So the ability to be able to pivot and think outside the box and try, again, not being afraid to fail, and try new things. So I'm not afraid to say, yes, we thrived during lockdown. But again, for us, it was normality. I'd have gone mad if I wasn't teaching. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Human connection as well, I think, is, again, like thinking about your customer demographic and like that busy mind and heavy mental load, and not just trying to carve out some time for yourself. I think it's not just the time for yourself, because we can all go and walk around the park. It's making actual human connections, isn't it? So important.
So important. Yeah, so important. I know during that time, us as franchisees got together on Zoom, because we'd always just done that in person before. Again, I hadn't gone, oh yes, we can do it online. And that again has now opened up from a franchise perspective. Like, location now doesn't matter, because the training can all be done on Zoom. They can join in classes on Zoom. They can come to choreography days and masterminds on Zoom. They don't have to be physically in the room.
Yeah, I love that. Tell us why someone should invest in one of your franchises rather than going it alone.
Again, going back to the support, going back to the hand-holding, going back to the collective experience and shared knowledge, the proven systems, the amazing choreography, if I do say so myself, the whole community that is created from becoming a franchisee, not just within the franchisee community, but the community that they will build, and the ripple effect of the women that they will teach in their community, the joy that they will experience themselves, the joy that they will create to other people. But it's about, we have fun. It's a fun business, but they get accountability, they get support, the proven systems, and if they are willing, a lot of the work is done for them, but if they are willing to put the time and energy and effort into making it work, then they'll reap the rewards, not just financially, but from a more time back, more fulfilling life, more purpose.
I love it. Is there anything else before we wrap up that you want people to know about either becoming a franchisee, the business, or yourself?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it all.
Covered a lot. It's been amazing. Love the chat. I love it. I love getting inside other people's businesses and having a little look and a little nose around. It's brilliant. Katy, if anyone's listening and they're like, actually, I need to go and talk to Katy because this is for me, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so if they go onto my website, www.onbroadwaydancefitness.com, there's a link in there to book a discovery call with me if that's what they want to do. All my contact details are on there as well.
Amazing. Katy, I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you. That's it for now.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thank you very much.